Hi, Karen here, and in this video I want to address some frequently asked questions when it comes to the Saxon math textbooks, such as why do some parents care about the editions? Why are so many parents on the hunt for the older editions? And what's the difference between the solutions manual and the answer key? And also where to find them. Where can you find these older textbooks? So let's get started. So number one, if you're not familiar with the Robinson curriculum, it has three main components. One of them is the math component, and that is Saxon math. Now, it's not all the Saxon textbooks available today. It's a specific amount of them, starting with Saxon 5.4 all the way to calculus. And the students are just supposed to year-round work their way through the books from 5.4 to calculus through their schooling career. Now, Saxon math has been around for a while, and so it has gone through revisions, different editions, as well as changes after John Saxon passed away and the company switched gears a little bit and moved to different ownership. So you might be asking to yourself, does it matter? Why do some parents care and they're on the lookout for the older editions? Well, let me just first say, you don't have to. You can use the new Saxon math book editions. That's perfectly fine. No matter the changes over the years, it still continues to be a really solid math program, being that mix of spiral and mastery. There's lots of repetition, lots of practice here. It's a great program. So no matter what edition you use, they will be fine. The kids will be fine. They will be well educated when it comes to math. It will prepare them for that foundation of going on to science after calculus. However, many parents do favor those older first, second, and third editions, which can be a little hard to find today, which is why we'll talk about that in the second part of the video, where to find them. Now, why? Why do parents prefer these editions? Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I could just tell you some of the differences that I see and why I prefer them, and I'm always on that hunt. First of all, I like the hard cover textbooks. I feel like these last a lot longer than the paperback versions. I've heard that the pages in the newer modern versions are very thin, and so these are just much more durable, especially if you have a lot of children. It's worth it. Another reason why I highly favor the second edition is because of the reference numbers. If you see here, next to each problem, there is a little parentheses with the number here. That is the reference number telling the student where they can find how to work that problem. So they're here at this problem. They know that how this problem is worked. They know they can go back to lesson 71 and find examples and teaching them how to do that problem. I find that super helpful. I shouldn't say I find that. I notice that my kids find that super helpful because, again, if you're not familiar, the way RC works with Saxon math is that the student is supposed to do math all on their own. You're not supposed to help them. So this is just another tool that you can give them at their disposal where they can effectively teach themselves. Now, I myself don't own any of the latest brand new copies, but I hear that there's just kind of more, it's geared more for the classroom, investigations with groups and other things that can be a distraction for the student. Here, they're just doing the problem set. There's a little bit of practice problems in the beginning, and then it goes right into the problem set. I personally just have my kids go right into the problem set every day because, again, you have to remember these were geared towards public school where there's weekends off, where there's summers and breaks, and so they need that warm up. But if you're doing RC the way it's meant to be, 6 days a week, year round, doing math first, they really don't need that much warm up. They just did it the day before. And also, they don't move on to the next lesson until their error rate on the first try is below 3 to 5% max. So they're not being pushed forward too quickly, like in a classroom setting maybe, where they need that additional practice. I mean, they're not moving on until they've mastered the information. So those are just a few reasons why I myself prefer the older editions. And again, other parents might have other reasons. Maybe they feel the quality is not the same, after John Saxon passed away and other people took control of it. But just know that it's still a great quality math program, no matter what edition you have. one other thing that I briefly want to cover before moving on is the difference between a home study packet like this, an answer key, and a solutions manual. A solutions manual actually gives you the step-by-step how to work the problem, how to solve it. And the answer key is just answers. It doesn't give you a step-by-step on how to do it. So just keep that in mind if you are looking for these older editions. Make sure that you have the home study packet to go with it. Always, always make sure that the editions match. Yes, I know that there are some answer keys that can go for multiple editions, but you really need to know what you're doing. Talk to someone who really knows which editions, which answer keys. You don't want to get the wrong answer key, it won't match. And just to add a little note here, as far as I know, Dr. Robinson from the talk that he has on YouTube is not a fan of the solutions manuals, because once you show them how to work the problem, it's pretty much a waste of a problem. At that point, they're just kind of memorizing the steps on how to solve it. It's better that they don't see it, they don't know that, and they truly do the problem solving themselves. Because remember, they are grading themselves at the end of each lesson. All right, now one other very important thing that I wanted to make a note of. I know I've said this in other videos, because I heard it from another video, that if you see 2 dots on the book cover, it means second edition. It's a good way to just be able to look at pictures online and see, oh, that's a second edition, it has the 2 dots. And it's tricky though, you have to be careful. Yes, this is 2 dots, second edition. This is also 2 dots for Algebra Half, second edition. However, this Algebra Half, second edition, does not have the reference numbers. I guess not all second editions have the reference numbers. It's quirky just in and of itself, right? This, for example, is a 7/6 second edition with no dots and no reference numbers on the inside. So, you know, it's kind of quirky. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. I thought all the second editions maybe had the reference numbers, but this one doesn't, and this one doesn't. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But in my experience, the 5/4 and the 6/5, they all kind of do stick to that rule. 2 dots, it's a second edition, and it has the reference numbers. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so now let's move on and talk about where you can find these older editions. Realize that you're going on a hunt. They are, at this point, very difficult to find. They can be very expensive, and maybe the reason is because there's been a surge of homeschooling in the country, so they've become even more difficult to find. Maybe it's just the rise of people doing the Robinson curriculum and looking for those older editions. I don't know, but there are some things you really need to keep in mind if you want to embark on this hunt, because it is a hunt. One of the things that makes it very challenging is you have to make sure you have the right answer key, that the answer key matches the book. For example, this is a second edition, 6/5, so I would not trust that it would match this book because this is a first edition. Now I have a few different copies. Here we go. This is the second edition, so I know that this can go with this. Now, unless you really know what you're doing here, be cautious, because I know there are some answer keys that can go for multiple editions, but I've seen this backfire on friends. It's very tricky. You really have to check in person, hopefully, look a problem, look at the answers for a few to make sure that it really does match, that you can really use it, because that's just a headache having a book with no answer key. Unless you're willing to go through the whole book and create one or use an app each time, it's just such a big headache. So that's why this is a hunt, and it can be very difficult, is finding the matching answer key or solutions manual for that edition. Because when you do find them online, you'll see that a lot of times it's just the textbook. I don't know why that is. Some of the answer keys, you know, they just get lost, you know, they take a beating. As you can see, this one's all taped up. It is what it is. Now, here's a little tip that I have for you. That is why I prefer buying teacher's editions. Okay, so this is a teacher's edition, second edition, teacher's edition. This does not have the answers in the book. It has the answers in the back of the book. I don't mind this because they're going to grade themselves anyway, so it really doesn't matter that the answers are in the book. So that's a teacher's edition. Let's see here. Here's another teacher's edition for advanced mathematics. And again, the answers are just in the back. They are not in the front. But keep in mind that with the teacher's edition, you don't have the solutions manual. It's not telling you how to work the problem. It's just giving you the answer, which I prefer because, again, going in line with what Dr. Robinson said, they don't need a solutions manual. You just need an answer key. So for that reason, I favor teacher's manuals. For one, there's no answer key that I need to worry about getting beat up and lost. As long as the answers are in the back of the book and not in with the problems, great. And again, doesn't tell you how to work the problem, it just gives you the answer. For me, that's a win-win-win. So if you can find teachers' manuals, don't discard them, think about purchasing those. Here's another teacher's edition for Algebra 2. And again, same thing, no answers in the front, the answers are in the back. But yeah, no solutions manual, just giving you the answer key. Now that I have informed you of the challenges that you are taking on embarking on such a hunt, let me share with you the best places where you can find them. Now, my number one recommendation is the Robinson curriculum because they sell all the textbooks, the 5-4 up into calculus. You can go on their website, order page, and take even the placement exam. Have your kids take the placement exam and know exactly where to place them and books to order. You know you're going to get the textbook with the matching answer key, and that right there, that headache solved, is pretty priceless. Now, even better, in my opinion, would be ordering the lifetime bundle because you get all the books, all the Saxon math books, as well as all the math flashcards if you have kids starting off from the very beginning, as well as all the vocabulary cards. I mean, there's so many benefits to just getting the lifetime bundle, and one of them is just solving this whole headache, just getting all the Saxon math books that you need in one and done. Okay, so that's my number one recommendation. Obviously, the RC lifetime bundle, or just ordering the books from their website. And they have wonderful customer service, so really just call them and ask them what editions they're sending out. Super simple. All right, so if you are ready to get out there in the jungle and try to hunt these down, here are some places to look. First of all, local. Look on OfferUp, look on Facebook Marketplace, homeschool curriculum swaps in your area. Keep in mind that a lot of parents whose kids are all grown and out of the house already, maybe they're moving, they're downsizing. This is when they're getting rid of all their kids' old homeschool stuff. And this is a big one that pops up, is the old Saxon math books. So keep an eye out for that. Now, as far as online, you can look on eBay. That's kind of a big popular place. Make sure, again, that you find the matching answer key. So I would not bid on a book or purchase it if you don't have the answer key first. It's harder to find the answer key. If nothing else, work backwards. Find an answer key first and then look for the edition. I'm sure there are more textbooks like this than there are of home study packets and answer keys. So keep that in mind. So online, eBay, Amazon is also a really great place to look. Now, it is tricky, but I have purchased this one. This is a 6.5. It looks like it's a first edition. I couldn't really figure out. It says here, 7th printing, but it doesn't say any different editions. I think this is a first edition. I bought this on Amazon. It's like brand new. I don't know where they got it from. Excellent condition, no markings whatsoever. But yeah, they are a little bit pricey. You're talking about maybe 40, 50 bucks. And I don't think it came with the answer key. But luckily, I already had one that I make my kids share. So the way I've noticed that it works on Amazon is that they'll just have the title, and then you can click on other sellers or other formats, and you can see everybody who's selling it. But it's really difficult because you can't see exactly what edition they are. So hopefully maybe it's in the description, or I don't know. It's the jungle out there, like I said, but they are on Amazon. A couple other places that I have seen them are on Thrift Books, even Answer Keys. I have seen them as well. And my favorite place to look for books, Abe Books, abebooks.com. They also have older textbooks like this, maybe even home study packets. So I would check those two places as well. Now, lastly, I have two other places that I can recommend to you that are homeschool or used curriculum, actual physical places, stores, resource centers, but they are very friendly, very helpful, and they are willing to ship to you the books if they have them. They're extremely helpful. You can message them on Facebook. They have Messenger, or you can email them, or you can call them. The first one is my personal favorite, and I have a video on my channel all about them, is the Covenant Homeschool Resource Center here in the Phoenix area. They are fantastic. Majority of the books that I have purchased from there, and I did not pay more than $5 to $10 for each of them, even with the answer key. They have fantastic sales. They're really affordable. I really just owe them a debt of gratitude for getting my collection pretty much completed. I think I just need calculus at this point. So they're wonderful. I mean, you can see in the video that I have on YouTube, they had just like stacks to the ceiling from high bookshelves of old Saxon math books. So give them a call, see what they have, and see if they'll, kindly ship it to you. The other place is another kind of favorite known in the Robinson curriculum community, and that's Bibliomania in Oklahoma. Again, you can look them up on Facebook. You can look them up on Google Maps and get their number and give them a call and ask them if they have the edition, the book that you're looking for, and matching answer key. Those are my tips on the best places to find these older editions. Now, if you still have questions over the differences between the editions, I do have a playlist where I go over in two groups all the differences between them. So I will link it in a playlist. I never know if it's up here or if it's up here, but I will link the playlist so you can check it out, and just decide for yourself. But again, just realize that it's an excellent math program. No matter what edition you choose, they're going to be fine. They're going to get through it. These are just preferences. And I wanted to give you some suggestions in this video in case you had the same preferences I do for the older books. A lot of people think newer is always better, but then there are some people who think older is better. And I think a lot of people in the RC camp are more older betters. That's why we have our kids read the classics, right? So if you have that same preference, I hope this video was helpful to you. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more sustainable homeschooling content, make sure that you subscribe down below. Now, if you'd like to connect with me for live Q&A sessions, additional training, or to access my free 13-part video course on the Robinson curriculum, then please check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.